Hello friends, I'm back with a mini review slash unboxing again of a figure we all want this time. It's Piranha Plant from Super Mario, but really from Smash Bros. So here's Piranha Plant in his packaging. It's from the Super Mario series because World Nintendo is dead and there's some kind of cardboard glued onto my logo up there. But if we take a look on the back, we can see other figures in the wave. There's Captain Mario from Odyssey, Plain Old Yoshi. They've released a bunch of times. Same with Goomba, they've released a bunch of times. Explorer Mario's kind of cool, but like Piranha Plant's the one everyone wants because neither of these are quite the Mario we have in Smash, but Piranha Plant is, even though he's usually in a brown pot and this is in the green warp pipe. But I mean, that's a skin that he has in Smash Bros. Anyways, it says he comes with a coin, which is weird because coins are never like in Piranha Plants, or you never get a coin for defeating a Piranha Plant, I think, unless you do it with fireballs in the new Super Mario games, and then Piranha Plants don't use coins, maybe. Well, I don't know what else he could have come with. Anyways, though Mario encountered numerous and dangerous enemies in his adventures, the carnivorous Piranha Plant is a common sight no matter where he travels. Yeah, because I guess he grows like a weed. Anyways, let's open it up. Ooh. No twist ties or anything. That coin just pops out. Wow, that thing went flying. And Piranha Plant! His bulbous head just pops out. Okay, now let's look at that coin before we look at Piranha Plant. And it's yellow, and it's the same one that has come with Mario and Luigi figures over the years. And yeah, there's nothing special to say about it. Let's get out of here. Piranha Plant's the real star of the show, and looking at his sculpt, it is pretty standard, pretty basic. Looks like a Piranha Plant should. I kind of would have liked it if like the white dots had like sculpted lines, but I mean, it's not necessary. Obviously, he doesn't have that in the game. I like the little jagged edges on his weed-like leaf hands there. I mean, I don't know if it's hands, they're just leaves, but I don't know, looks accurate. All the little information's on the bottom like it should be instead of like on the side or something. That's good. This is a really smooth feeling warp pipe actually, and all his teeth are sculpted. They're not too sharp. They're kind of kid-friendly. That's nice. And if we talk about the paint now, that's green and that's green. In fact, they're the same shade of green. It probably would have been good if like the Piranha Plant part was like a slightly different shade of green than the warp pipe part, but I mean, whatever. It's green is green, really, right? And then they have these little decals for the tops of the leaves that look pretty good, actually. They didn't really paint them on. The only thing really painted on were these spots, and like they look a little thin in person. Like you can see how it's like worn through there. There's like a spot missing. You can clearly see red underneath, and the whole thing looks a little pinkish, honestly. But for the most part, they're very good. They came out real clean. I don't know how they were applying these, but inside the mouth, the tongue is like a slightly different shade of pink, and then the red at the inside of the mouth, and then the teeth are all separate. But they're all molded in the color they need to be. Same with the lips. They're separate pieces, I think. No, they're not. Look at that. This whole thing has been molded in white, and then this is painted red, and then they painted white on top of that, I think? Well, that's really weird, because it's definitely molded red inside the mouth. Or is it? Is it painted red? I see like white in there in the corner. That's, I'm not sure how they made this, but I mean, the final effect looks really good. I mean, I thought this was molded in red. The paint is so good. If it's been painted red, they did a really good job. It's just not such a great job on the white spots, really. But other than that, paint and sculpt are really good. Let's talk about articulation, because I was wondering how this jaw was going to hinge, and it hinges closed. The lips close totally. That looks amazing, except when you look at it from the back and there's a giant gap there. I mean, it looks kind of odd now. I realize how they did the separate moldings. It's like, okay, this is molded in red because look, there's red right in there, and then the inside's molded in red too. It's just like sort of a different finish. And yeah, it is molded in red, and so I guess they painted the lips white. I don't know. It looks like they did a bit of an overlap on the lip edge, but it looks fine, honestly. It's Piranha Plant. What do you expect? So the jaw hinges open and close. It gets a good amount of range, and then you can swivel his head on that peg there. I would have preferred a ball joint, but, you know, swivel's pretty good. I mean, Piranha Plant's not the most mobile character in the Super Mario games. And then he swivels at the base there, which is kind of pointless because you could just rotate the whole thing, and it looks like tentacles. So what's the point, really? I don't understand that, but we got two functional points of articulation and one that just doesn't really make a difference. Inside there on the warp pipe, there's it's just blackness there. It's hard to see. It's like, yeah, it's just smooth and black, and yeah, looks pretty good. Articulates decently. I mean, ideally you'd like a big bendy wire in here and like a ball joint up here, but this is good for the price point. It's good for what it is. You can even rotate his head all the way around so that the tongue is on the roof of his mouth, but I mean, if you close the lips, it looks like he's looking down at you now. When you open him, he's like just looking up all the time. So it's like, I mean, this is a good way to get extra expressions out of him, I guess. Scale time, Piranha Plant stands a little less than 4.5 inches tall, or about 11 centimeters. Here he is looking way too small next to some 6-inch superhero figures, Batman and Spider-Man. And also a bit too small next to Jakks' own Mario. I mean, is Mario supposed to fit in this pipe here? That size doesn't line up, right? And same problem when he's next to all the other Super Mario series characters. I mean, the warp pipe just looks way too small for any of them to fit inside, so Piranha Plant looks too small by extension, and usually Piranha Plants look kind of like bigger than Mario and friends. I mean, maybe it works okay with Bowser, but Bowser looks like giant compared to him. But well, Bowser's often giant, so that makes sense. If we start to think of this as the Piranha Plant that's in Super Smash Bros., however, he begins to fit in a lot better, friends, because the Piranha Plant in Super Smash Bros. Is actually just a teeny bit taller than Mario, about the same height as Link, and a bit shorter than Samus, but significantly taller than the Inkling. So with the Jakks figures, he works pretty perfectly here. It's the Figma figures that are actually a bit too big to fit in with the guy, even if they feel like they scale better. They actually don't. I mean, look at those pictures from earlier. Piranha Plant scales perfectly with most of the Jakks figures from the way he's depicted in Smash Bros. And finally, friends, here he is next to his much more dynamic-looking Piranha Plant Amiibo, which is also much more accurate to Smash. It's in the brown pot instead of the warp pipe, although this is an alternate skin, so whatever. But if you begin to look at the details, you can see how much better the Amiibo is. I mean, these extra sections on the leaf are sculpted, and like they're just decals on this. In fact, it's really hard to even tell them apart from the normal green color on the Jakks figure, and then they got the same thing underneath the leaves, which Jack just omitted. I mean, what do you expect? It's a cheaper company. And then I'm looking at the teeth and the mouth actually look pretty comparable. That's pretty impressive there. But then the spots are just so much cleaner and more solid. And look at the different variations in the size on the Amiibo compared to like just how uniform they are. I mean, this one's a bit bigger than the others, but it's generally more uniform on the Jakks figure. But at the end of the day, friends, if you want a Piranha Plant action figure for a Smash collection and not an Amiibo, well, this is your only option, so I do ultimately recommend it. I mean, yeah, his accessories are pretty much throwaway. I mean, I even threw that little coin away earlier. We don't really need it. And the sculpt is fine. The paint could be better. Articulation could be a lot better. I mean, but it's. I understand Jakks was limited by the design, but Piranha Plant in Super Smash Bros. Is so darn flexible, moving these leaves as if they're hands, and they're like really stiff here. I mean, it would have been nice to get a bit more. Still, articulated jaw is pretty cool. So if you want one, go out and get him. Until next time. Peace out, YouTube.